Good morning. Happy to meet you again with a new educational episode, and this time it will be for the students of secondary stage. Let's start. Our lesson is the past perfect tense. This tense is used to talk about a past action that ended before another action or a specific time in the past, as expressed here, as explained here in the timeline. Remember, It is always, it is always, I repeat again, used versus the past simple except with the time expression by to express an action that ended before a specific time in the past. For example, by 2014, we had moved to a new villa. Let's study these examples with the various time expressions. After followed by action 1. Before followed by action 2. After I had reached the station, the train moved. It means I caught it. Before I reached the station, the train had moved. It means I missed it. We also use the past perfect to show the cause of a past action. For example, I was sorry when she left me. We had been friends since our childhood. She became so depressed when they got divorced. They had been a perfect couple for ages. And now with a very, very important note here concerning that lesson. Not until, not since, only after, only when are followed by action 1. But invert the subject and the helping verb in part 2 of the sentence. And only by is followed by action 1, but use the gerund form. For example, not until I had tidied my room did I go out. Only when she had invited him did he go to the party. Only by apologizing did she begin to talk to him again. Take care, it's very important. As soon as and when. As soon as followed by action 1, it can be used at the beginning of the sentence or in the middle of the sentence. When is flexible, it can be followed by action 1 or action 2. Both are correct. As soon as I had finished my homework, I fell asleep. Mom went out as soon as she had washed up. When we had scored the goal, the spectators cheered. The children had tidied the room when they began to sweep it. Once or the moment are followed by action 1. Once or the moment she had begun the meeting, this is action 1. She fainted, this is action 2. On or immediately on, followed by action 2, but use the gerund form. On or immediately on understanding the lesson, we started to do the exercise. They can also be followed by the noun instead of the gerund. Having followed by action 1, and after having used the past participle. Having got a driving license, I began to drive. We can also express action 1 using the gerund form of the verb at the beginning of the sentence. For example, buying a new digital camera, I began to take wonderful photos. Typing the report, the secretary handed it in to the boss. Instead of action 1, I used the gerund form. No sooner can be used at the beginning or in the middle of the sentence, and remember, the linking word is than. But when you use it at the beginning of the sentence, don't forget, invert the subject and the helping verb. She had no sooner fed her baby than it started to play. No sooner here is between had and the PP. No sooner had she fed her baby than it started to play. Hardly, scarcely, and barely. The same usage. But the linking word is different. The linking word is when. I had hardly slept when the bell rang. Or hardly had I slept when the bell rang. It was only when, it wasn't until, and the linking word is that. But they can only be used at the beginning of the sentence. We can't use them in the middle. It was only when I had done my homework that I hung it out. It wasn't until all the guests had arrived that we set the table. Till and until. They are after the past simple which expresses action 1 and it must be in the negative form, and after them the past perfect in the positive form. They are always in the middle of the sentence. I didn't watch TV till I had cleaned my room. She didn't go out until she had cooked lunch. After that is the synonym of before, and before that gives the same meaning as after. After that means before, and before that means after. I had bought a digital camera. After that, I began to take wonderful photos. I began to take wonderful photos, but before that, I had bought a digital camera. We use the tense with just, already, since, and for to express action 1. I had already read the novel when Dad came home. She had just cooked dinner when her husband arrived. I was sorry when she left me. We had been friends since our childhood or for ages. This tense is used to join a reason and a result, using so, as, because, and since. Take care, since gives the same meaning as because. I hadn't done my homework, so I apologized to my teacher. She looked very tired since she had studied 5-10 hours. She felt so embarrassed as or because she fell off her bike. We use it with relative clauses. I admired the gift that he had given me. This is action 1, had given, and then I admired it. He married the girl whom I had told him about. I read the book which you had recommended. We use the tense with these verbs: realized, discovered, knew, and found out. I discovered that I had forgotten my keys at my office when I arrived home. We knew that he was a liar when he had made a slip of tongue. Thank you for your time. And remember, the only difference between stumbling blocks and stepping stones is the way in which we use them. Thank you. Meet you again.